Hi there, this is Alistair Ryan, and I'm going to take just a few minutes here to go through this presentation with you about quitting your addictive behaviour. And this is something that a lot of you have struggled with, and so I'm just going to present you with a few ideas here to try and help you along. So when we talk about changing, becoming abstinent, it means that we're moving into a whole area of fear and resistance. Change is hard. Nobody likes to change. We all like to get set in our ways to some degree. I mean, we like to change good things, but when it comes to changing hard things, it's we become resistant. And the reason that is because we humans naturally settle into patterns of behaviour. It's what we do. We establish patterns of behaviour. We go certain routes. We do certain things, and we become, I suppose you could say, addicted to them to some degree, because these patterns establish grooves in the neurological pathways of our brain, and once they're there, these grooves form habitual automatic behaviours. So, we all have many automatic behaviours, and we feel comfortable in our own habits. These habits that we have, it's kind of what we do. We tend to resist change and often feel very uncomfortable when new things come along. If you think about people at work and a whole new system comes in, people usually resist that. And when it comes to giving up addictions or habits, we will feel a sense of inner resistance. And so we resist that change even when our habits feel bad, and we can be engaged in things which are really quite detrimental to our health or to our well-being or to our happiness, and we resist those quite seriously. And in our resistance, we end up behaving and acting quite irrationally. Perhaps you'll have noticed that some of your behaviours, to others certainly, are unusual. And the trouble is we're being pulled along by our compulsivity, our addiction, our bad habit. It's starting to pull us by the nose like a bull with a ring through its nose. And even though our grooves may cause us problems or be outdated, we don't need them anymore. We don't need these patterns of behaviour. We've become attached to them. They're what we know. We know them very, very well. We see them as this is the way things are for us. This is how we do things. This is what we do. In a way, it's almost who I am as well. It's our addictions are who we are, not just what we do. And we often feel threatened when people want us to change. So in strange and yet understandable ways, we feel more comfortable with them than without. We like the familiar. We don't like the new because it means unknown, and when unknown comes along, we feel afraid. So in order to change something like that, we really have to be ready, and we can't be pushed into it. It can't be somebody else's idea. It has to be our own. And in order to do that, first we're going to have a very strong desire for that change. It has to be a desire to be different, to get rid of that thing, and it has to be strong enough in order to be workable. And so we really have to want to get rid of this old pattern, whatever it may be, whether it's smoking or drinking or overeating or gambling or whatever. But sometimes we don't change until it's too painful to stay the same, and that's very true. That if our addiction still feels okay, well, why change it? But maybe it's knowing just how that it feels bad that is when we become more ready to actually make that change. But change is a process. It doesn't happen all at once. And none of us are immune to this struggle against change. We're all like that. It's natural for humans to struggle against change, unless of course it's a great change. Someone says, "Oh, look, I'm going to get rid of your Morris Minor car and give you a brand new Aston Martin," then you're not going to resist that necessarily. But if someone says, "I'm going to get rid of something that you've been doing a long, long time that you felt was a kind of comfort blanket," you're going to resist that quite a bit. But change and adapt, we have to change and adapt. In life, things have to change. Everything has to change. Life always is moving in that direction of change. And if we don't change, we're going to get into trouble, because we're going to firstly stand still, and then we're going to go backwards. And ultimately, things will always get worse when we don't change. So getting ready to quit is a series of stops on a journey. It's like bus stops, if you like. And on the blue side, we're feeling kind of cold in our desire for change. And as we move along, the closer we get to the ultimate destination, the more we begin to warm up towards our feelings of motivation warm up. So, when we're getting around 5, we're really starting to think, I don't know, maybe I should do something about this. 6 is much warmer. 7 is the day that I'm ready to do something about it. So we've got these stages of quitting. In the beginning we have denial. It's just nothing to do. I don't have a problem. What's everybody talking about? It's everybody else's problem, not mine. And deep down we have a feeling of ambivalence. It's like, well, I deep down know that I want to change, but I don't know. I also don't want to change. And then we can be defiant about it. We can say, I'm not changing. Why are you all having a go at me? You just leave me alone. It's nothing to do with me. Or there comes a point when we maybe feel kind of compliant. We say, all right. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do. Some of you have said that already. And then we gradually get to the point of acceptance. I know I need to change. I do. I realise that. And then we kind of surrender to that, and that's when we're ready to take action. So when some of the thinking that goes on inside of our mind when we're in these various stages, it's when you're in denial, perhaps you're thinking things like, way deep down, there's a thought that I want to quit. But the trouble is, it's so deep down that I don't even acknowledge that truth, not even to myself. It's just something that's hidden. I always say that even people that are in complete denial, if you could listen somewhere inside of them, you'd hear a voice that said, "Help me, help." But they are not necessarily hearing that. I say to myself, I don't need to change, there's nothing wrong with me, it's everybody else. Go away, leave me alone, I like what I'm doing. I used to listen to people and say, I like my smoking. I could quit any time, but I like it. I'm not giving up because I like it. And ambivalence. Well, that's those kind of two types of thinking, isn't it? I know that I need to change, but I don't want to think about it. It's kind of one of the things that's going on inside a person's head. I know, but I don't want to. Just leave me alone. Just don't. I just don't want to discuss this. And often you'll find that people with addictions, alcoholics and so on, refuse to talk about the problem. And if it isn't broke, don't fix it. I'm just not going to do anything here. And then defiance. Defiance. I'm in two minds about changing. I know I should, but see, deep down, really, I'm quite afraid. And that's causing me to feel angry and hostile towards other people. One side of me wants to change and allow newness and growth, Inside we're always moving towards growing and changing. We know when we don't need to do something about it. But the other side wants me to hold on to the familiar, back to that fear of changing again. What feels safer and known. I swing from one to the other and I'm unsure which one is me. Am I the guy who wants to stop, or am I the guy that wants to carry on? I don't know. Yesterday I wanted to quit, today I want to carry on. Who am I? Which one is me? And compliance, well, we're just going along with everybody else, but deep down we're thinking to ourselves, I know that I want to, but I'm just not sure if I can. And really what's going on is I'm filled with self-doubt. I'm afraid. I tried it before, you see, and I failed quite a few times, and I feel beaten back by that disappointment and failure, and I'm not ready to do anything about it. But then there comes a point when, I start to acknowledge to myself I want to. I know it's possible, but the trouble is I'm still afraid it might be too difficult for me. I might get too many cravings. It just might be, I might fail again. I'm wondering just how much pain there's going to be involved in all of this. Surrender. Well, that's when we hold our hands in the air and say, enough's enough. I'm beaten now. I've had enough of this. I really need to stop now. And at that point, I'm really ready to have a go at quitting, but I just need the right direction. I'm not sure how to do it. I don't want to make a mistake this time. This time it's really important. And, I'm ready to do this quitting, but I'm hoping it's just not going to be too tough. If it's not too tough, then I'm really ready. But then there comes a point when, we take action because it's time, or at least we're ready to take action. I'm ready to quit. I'm really ready to quit, not right now. Whatever it takes, I'm going to have to do this. And I'm going to get the right sort of help, because at that point, it's time to get help, to do something about it. And if you need help with quitting or getting ready to quit, feel free to give us a call.